After overhearing Chief Bala's chilling words, Amara's heart sank into darkness. She realized her marriage wasn't just a sacrifice of love, it was a pawn in a bigger game. That night, she lay awake staring at the ornate ceiling, thoughts spinning. What had he meant by, "I just needed a girl to make him behave"? Why did he speak of Ikenna like a burden, not a son? She had started to see warmth behind Ikenna's broken gaze. Had begun to believe maybe this strange marriage could become something real. But now doubt clouded everything. The next morning, Amara decided to confront Ikenna. She found him by the veranda, feeding birds with slow, deliberate movements. "Your father," she said softly. "He said something last night. Something about using me to control you." What did he mean? Ikenna's hands froze mid-motion. His jaw tightened. He didn't look at her. "It doesn't matter," he said flatly. "He's always been like that." "It matters to me," Amara pressed. "I didn't marry you just to save my mother. I've grown to care about you. But I can't do this if I don't understand what's going on." Ikenna sighed deeply and rolled his chair around to face her. For the first time he looked truly vulnerable. "I wasn't born like this," he said. 5 years ago I was strong, athletic, free. I ran my own tech business. I was in love with a woman who betrayed me with my own cousin. I lost everything, my heart, my business, my body. I was driving too fast one night, drunk with pain. Crash. My spine broke. And so did my will to live. Tears welled in Amara's eyes. She knelt before him. "But you're still here," she whispered. "Still breathing. That means there's still something left to fight for." Ikenna chuckled bitterly. "That's what my father thought too. But not out of love. He wanted me to be his perfect heir. When I gave up on life, he grew ashamed. That's why he brought you here, to force me into acting normal again." Amara felt anger rise in her chest, not at Ikenna but at Chief Bala. "You're not broken," she said firmly. "You're healing. And I'm not here to control you. I'm here because I want to be." From that day something changed between them. Ikenna began talking more. He let Amara push him out into the sunshine. She read him books, told him stories about her childhood, made him laugh for the first time in years. She noticed him beginning to move his hands with more confidence. His shoulders no longer slouched in defeat. They cooked together, watched rain fall together. And slowly, love bloomed in the most unexpected place. On their 3-month wedding anniversary, Amara woke to find a note on her pillow. "Meet me in the garden." She rushed out to the courtyard, heart pounding. There, under the orange blossom tree, stood Ikenna, standing. He was holding crutches, his legs shaking but firm. Amara gasped, covering her mouth as tears poured down her cheeks. "I wanted you to be the first to see," he said, voice trembling. "Your belief in me did what my father's force never could. You made me want to live again." She ran to him, wrapping her arms around him tightly, both of them crying under the morning sky. It was the first time they truly embraced, not out of duty but out of love. Word spread quickly. Chief Bala returned from a business trip and was shocked to see his son walking again. But Amara confronted him boldly. "You used me," she said. "But your plan failed. Ikenna didn't heal because of you. He healed because someone finally saw him as human." Chief Bala didn't apologize, but for once, he remained silent. Weeks later, Mama Naya was discharged from the hospital. When she saw Ikenna walking slowly beside her daughter at the airport, she broke down in joy. "You've given my daughter more than I ever could," she said, holding Ikenna's hand. He smiled and replied, "She gave me even more." Their love deepened with each passing day. Amara enrolled in a city nursing school, with Ikenna supporting her every step of the way. He slowly resumed his tech projects and started mentoring disabled youth, giving them hope through his story. Their marriage, born out of desperation, became the strongest bond either of them had ever known. At night, as they lay side by side, Amara would whisper, "You were never a burden to me. You were the miracle I didn't know I needed." And Ikenna would reply, "You didn't just save your mother's life. You saved mine too." Their story became an inspiration across the region, a tale of how love, when rooted in compassion and courage, can transform pain into purpose. In a quiet rural village nestled between sun-drenched hills and dusty red paths, lived a kind-hearted young girl named Amara, known across the village for her soft voice, deep brown eyes, and gentle smile. Her father had passed away when she was just 10, leaving her mother, Mama Naya, to raise her single-handedly. Amara grew up quickly, trading childhood games for washing clothes by the stream, cooking cassava at dawn, and selling roasted maize by the roadside just to earn enough to buy medicine for her ailing mother. Life was hard, and her only comfort came from her dreams of one day becoming a nurse, helping others the way no one had helped her mother. But fate had different plans. Mama Naya had been battling a chronic illness for years, but now her condition had worsened. She couldn't walk anymore, and her breathing became shallow by the day. The local clinic had done all it could, but the nurses told Amara that if her mother didn't get treatment in the city hospital soon, she wouldn't survive the month. Amara's world started crumbling. She had no money for transport, let alone hospital fees. She cried silently each night, clutching her mother's hand as the older woman gasped for breath. Then one day, while selling boiled groundnuts near the town center, a black jeep pulled over beside her table. A man in an expensive agbada stepped out. His name was Chief Bala, one of the richest men in the region. His face was cold, his eyes calculating. He wasn't interested in the groundnuts. He was interested in Amara. With him was his son, Ikenna, a man in his mid-30s who sat silently in a wheelchair. Rumor had it Ikenna had been in a terrible accident 5 years ago, and since then he hadn't walked or smiled. Chief Bala came straight to the point. "I know your mother is dying," he said. "And I know you can't afford her treatment. I will pay for everything. Hospital bills, medicine, even take her to the best doctors in Abuja. But on one condition." Amara's heart pounded. "What condition?" she whispered. "Marry my son," he replied coldly. "Marry Ikenna. Today." The offer hit her like a storm. Marry a crippled man she didn't know. A man who looked lost, distant, and broken. But her mother was dying. Amara ran home that day, her mind in turmoil. Mama Naya was unconscious, her breathing ragged. The village herbalist had already given up. Amara knew there was no time. She sobbed on the floor, begging God for a sign. The next morning, with trembling hands, she returned to Chief Bala's mansion and accepted the offer. The wedding happened the same day, in a cold, formal ceremony attended only by a few witnesses. Ikenna didn't even look at her during the vows. He just sat silently, his face void of any expression, while Amara whispered the words, "I do," through tears. That night, she moved into their luxurious home. Marble floors, chandeliers, servants everywhere, but her heart felt heavy and lost. Her mother was immediately flown to the hospital, and for that, Amara was grateful. But inside, she was a prisoner of a marriage she never wanted. Days passed. Amara tried to be kind to Ikenna, greeting him each morning, helping with his meals, talking to him even when he stayed silent. Sometimes she'd catch a flicker of emotion in his eyes, a spark of pain or regret, but it would vanish just as fast. Chief Bala was rarely around. He traveled often, leaving them alone in that massive, empty mansion. One night, Amara found Ikenna in the garden, staring up at the stars. For the first time he spoke. "Why did you agree to marry me?" he asked, voice low. "Because I love my mother," she replied honestly. "And I would do anything to save her." Kenna looked away. "Everyone pities me," he said bitterly. "They look at me and see nothing but a broken man in a chair." Amara knelt beside him. "That's not what I see," she said softly. "I see someone who's hurting but still alive." Her words hung in the air between them, and something shifted that night. The next morning a call came. Her mother had responded well to treatment and was slowly recovering. Amara cried with joy for the first time in weeks. Ikenna watched her silently, then wheeled himself closer. "I'm happy for you," he said. "You deserve happiness." Amara smiled, and for a brief second so did he. But peace was short-lived. One evening, Amara overheard a heated phone call between Chief Bala and someone unknown. "I don't care if he walks again or not," Bala said angrily. "I just needed a girl to make him behave. This one is soft. She won't ask questions." Amara's heart froze. Was she just a tool in some cruel plan? She didn't understand it all, but she knew one thing. There was more to Ikenna's past than she'd been told. And someone, perhaps even Ikenna himself, was hiding the truth. She decided to find out. And what she discovered would change everything.